So we should be live now. Mike. I can hear everybody. Give me a mic check.
You hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We both sound the same.
Oh, no.
Oh,
One of y'all sound countrier than the other ones.
shut up.
Wow.
Dang. That's not what was asked.
That's what you asked me, right?
No.
You said
no.
it just sounded like.
I said, do we sound the same?
I don't.
And actually, I was just talking about
In volume?
tone-wise, the
Oh,
volume
yeah.
of it, because yeah, that's what I was
You
talking
gotta be
about.
specific, man. Come on, tighten up.
Typically, when people want to be smart, this is the way they go.
You gotta be specific, man.
Let's see.
All right, we live.
I don't think you went live though.
I did. I just shared it, and I can hear it. So, what we got going on?
There you go. You did good.
I try. I absolutely try. All right, Mike. Make sure everybody can hear us. All
Hey,
right,
y'all.
you got to go.
Let's see.
All right. Let me change some camera angles.
Hey, I can't see it on this one. Hey, everyone.
All right, everything good. We good.
Look at y'all. Hey, y'all. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Clap it up. Let me clap it up.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. How y'all feeling after the ice storm? How you guys? Y'all?
I loved it.
It wasn't an ice storm technically, but the snow.
I loved it.
The city shut down for 2 days. It was very quiet, actually. It was very quiet.
I loved it.
Very quiet. Did the boys play in the snow?
Well, DJ is not here. He's in Florida. He's in college.
Okay.
And Kingsley was sick, so he tried, but we were like, "You're recovering, so not going outside.
Right. You can look.
You can look.
You can look."
So no, I was excited. I love that. I love opportunities just for us to be together because we always working or a game or training or practice. So that was an opportunity to like slow down.
Yeah, everything
so
stopped for a minute.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
That was good. That's a beautiful experience. So everybody who's on, we got 6 minutes, so that's fine. So y'all, we have Dr. Jessica Shine on tonight.
Clap it up. I'm clapping on my side. You just keep going. Yeah, I got you. Every week she act brand new. I don't know what we going on. Like we do this every week for a few months now. She acting brand new every time.
Go ahead and start off the show.
I just clapped it up, man. We got Dr. Shine in the building. Yeah. Clap it up, you know what I'm saying? You know, the Pretty Girls Hill, Handsome and Healing. I know y'all been seeing us rocking that.
I know everybody's been seeing it. Better yet, we should have. Let me put the link.
She came bearing gifts. Can you show her the gift, please? Let's come on, come on now, tighten up.
Yes. All right. Can they see it?
Yes, they definitely can. Yep.
I see it.
Pretty Girls Hill beanies. Could have used that this weekend with the snow and everything.
Yeah, right. Yes. Definitely could have.
Pretty Girls Hill.
Showed me you should have gave me yours.
She got it on. She got the same color on for the most part. So yeah, it's on her hat. You know, hey, we here. I'm doing this. I've been. You know, I will say that the Pretty Girls Hill hat on the table, you know, is mine. I actually bought that first by mistake. Didn't know. So yeah, go me for reading instructions. I don't know. You know what? What it really was I was just trying to support for whatever. I didn't care. And then guess what? I still wore it. So you know.
You definitely
it didn't matter. It didn't matter what it said. You know, it didn't matter what it said. So
yeah, I'm going to put the link to Pretty Girls Healing in the comments, and you guys see them. Check them out. Very great quality.
Yes.
Very, very great quality. So tell us something about you, or tell us about yourself. Just like give us an overview where you from. How you got to here, your family life, if you want to share that. Okay. But just give us an overview of who you are.
All right. So I'm Jessica. Some call me Dr. Shine, as most of my clients probably. I'm from Augusta, born and raised in Augusta. I got here, I think, because of Pretty Girls Hill. I've always been here, been around, but this was something very different for me. That is requiring me to stretch and be seen, because this is a message and definitely a movement. So that's how I'm here. Married, 2 boys. Very proud of my family. And I think that answers. I'm a therapist. That's very important to me. I did higher education for many years. Probably have some students out there. And I think that's about it.
So we talk about healing a lot. Like we wear it, we quote it, we post it, but we don't always talk about what healing really looks like when nobody's watching, when it's uncomfortable, and when it starts to change our relationships. So knowing that's normally like the conversation, we'll wear it, we'll support it, but we don't really have like uncomfortable conversations about it. Is that like the reason why you started Pretty Girls Healing or Pretty Girls Heal?
I think that's definitely a part of it for sure. I think that's embedded in a part of the movement, but I think also what's maybe the bigger purpose of it is to even like highlight before we even having a conversation of just like the awareness that it's the reality. And understanding like Pretty Girls Heal is not about the aesthetics of like a person being like a pretty girl, but it is more so about you being like a pretty person. Aesthetically, you can be the most beautiful person, but internally, you are ugly, and you could be shaped by ugly things that have happened to you, but doing the work and navigating through that process could help you to be like the person that people get to experience like externally and internally. And sometimes I don't think we realize the importance of like that internal work. So it does start the conversation. And I love that it starts the conversation because like I love seeing guys wear the hat because I think like that's a statement, like Pretty Girls Heal. And I've had people stop me and ask like, what does that mean? Because I wear my hat everywhere. And so
as you should,
right,
as you
right.
should.
And it's like, or people say, I love that hat. And it's like, oh, what does it mean? And so, I'll explain just all the different complexities of what it means. But I think it can mean different things to different people, but it's definitely not about just like aesthetically being like a pretty girl. It's more about a healing journey and who you are internally. And is that pretty?
I do got a question though, like just, and this is just on a ramp of what you just said, but if we're going off the idea, and I like as well, and I like everything you said about it, with Pretty Girls Heal, handsome and healing. What is handsome and unhealed, or what is a pretty girl that is unhealed?
Sure. So I'll use myself, as an example. I can definitely recall when I was under duress and operated as like a primary caregiver for my grandmother. She passed in 2020. But that was overwhelming. That was one of the most trying times in my life. And I'm pretty sure I can recall probably not being pretty. And it was because I was stressed out. It was because I was depressed. It was because I was trying to manage a lot of things like independently and doing the work. I didn't even like the color pink. Let me I thought it was too happy. I'm serious.
Tell me what the color of the flyer I made.
What pink did to you?
Right. It was like, this is why, but that was just representative of like what I was navigating through. And like, that was because it was darkness was really like the reflection of what was happening for me internally. So the color pink was ridiculous to me. It was like, that's too much. Why are we so bright? There's a lot going on here. But after my grandmother passed, I realized like I had so much anger, so much resentment, so much frustration, just so many different things I was navigating through. And that's when I really locked in like with my therapist. I was like, we're going to see each other every week. And I saw my therapist every week for 2 years straight. And I didn't even realize like what I was healing in real time because my whole office is pink now. But I didn't even like the color pink. And so like that I didn't like the color pink because what was happening for me internally. And I had to navigate through those things and work on that healing process through therapy. And it was a lot of things that I'm grateful for my therapist that she helped me navigate through. But like, that's like healing can look ugly, but when you're unhealed, people get a real different experience of you. And you can see that in the relationship dynamics. You can see when you're having multiple failed relationships, and that's not just intimate relationships, that's friendships, that's work relationships, whatever that is. And the same thing for men. People don't have a great experience just as a person. So when you can be the finest thing walking, but if you're awful, it doesn't matter how you look. Like that doesn't, so what? I have seen and met beautiful people. Like, I don't ever want to meet you again. Because you're really not a kind person. I'm good. I met you. I came. I saw. I'm good. And I'm more so on like who you are as a character. To me, that makes me feel like you're a beautiful person based off of like your character, how you treat others, like kindness. That makes you a beautiful person to me, and I think to many other people. So hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, it definitely do. But you also just now, because you mentioned the color pink, so I gotta ask. I do know, and I don't know how deep you want to go into that, but talk about, if you can, the idea of colors and how it's like what's the word I'm looking for? It kind of go hand in hand with like moods and just a feeling or your up and downs, or just the everyday person, where you at in life, and how colors sometimes have a direct connection with that.
Sure. So I won't go.
Yeah, we ask good questions over here. I see you smiling. I like that. I love when people smile when you ask the questions. I just love it. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You ain't even let her say good questions.
Still. She
hype yourself up. That's right.
There we go. Thank you. Somebody gotta do it.
Somebody gotta do it.
Jeez.
So I won't go into the like specific details of all the different colors, but you're right. Like our mood colors, I think, do have a correlation with our mood, and oftentimes you can see anything that's related to like psychology. You'll see like light colors and things like that represent like healing or a lightness in your mood. You think about yourself, like us as human beings, like I think I'm gonna put on something like bright today, and like we're saying we want to put on something bright. In most cases, I could be wrong, but in most cases, because we feel good and because we feel bright. And so a lot of those colors, I wanted to represent just kind of those moods, and not necessarily just the moods, but like the space you're in regarding like your healing, and putting a real positive turn on like what the different colors mean. Purple was very important to me. Pink and purple was very important to me, but pink was the very first color that I even came up with, was like, it's got to be pink. And I think that's because it just, for me, it represented like healing. Purple was very important to me, or lavender was important to me because of lupus, and just navigating that journey, because that's the color for lupus, because lupus and I did not have a good relationship. And when I first was diagnosed, I couldn't stand lupus. I would often say to my husband, I hate lupus. I can't, I was angry. I was very, very angry. I did not want that to be my portion. I didn't want any diagnosis. And so I had to navigate through acceptance. That was a grieving process. I still navigate through it, but those two colors in particular were really important to me. But I wanted to be very intentional about just identifying like what each color means, so that when a person is looking for a hat, they have something else to even help them, further connect.
Got you. Q, do you mind if we go to some of these comment questions real quick? And then, all right. So the first one, it says, this is Rochelle Blunt. How you doing, Rochelle?
Hello.
She says, how do you maintain your femininity and softness in a world that constantly asks women to be strong? Good question.
Great question.
Great question.
Rochelle, for me, and I think the message that I communicate to many of my clients, I think it comes down to boundaries and understanding our ability to have free will, to give ourselves permission. And oftentimes we don't understand that we have free will and give ourselves permission. So maybe a couple of weeks ago, I was working in a session, and I asked one of my clients, if it were up to you, fill in the blank. Like, if it were up to me, I would. And then they filled in the blank. And every time I ask this question to a client, they will fill in the blank with something like completely within their will, like free will. I was like, so if that's what you would do, if it were up to you, then who is it up to? And we don't think about how much we have within our locus of control. So I think that's important to oftentimes do inventory on our lives and say, like, what do I feel like is requiring me to show up in strength? Okay, if I don't want to show up in that way, why am I maintaining that? Like, does it need to be a boundary there? Is that something that's being asked of me, or is that something that I feel obligated to do? And I don't think a lot of times we do enough inventory to understand like what's our portion and what's not our portion. Sometimes I think we go along with things that we feel like are like required for us to do, or things that we've been doing because we feel obligated to do. But oftentimes, I think when we take inventory, we find out it's things that we may need to give back to others, or just create a boundary for it. So when I feel like something is very overwhelming, like I love it. I love, like, I'm going to be a princess one way or the other. Like, I can be very strong for sure, but I got free will to be a princess. So I decide often to be a princess. Like, oh, this is overwhelming. This is a lot.
So okay. If it was up to you, you'd be a princess?
Absolutely, I am. Like that. I am one. So I am one. So that's the way I operate. Like, why would I have free will to not take on some things? And I didn't have that before. Just to be honest with you, I didn't think that way. I thought I was obligated to do things. I thought I needed to do those things. And I thought I needed to do a lot of those things because I used to find great value in being needed. That was my issue. And so I had to do inventory and reevaluate like my value system. I don't need to be needed. I'm good. I've done all the things. And so I often say, like, do inventory and see what's yours and see whose stuff you need to give back to whoever it needs to be. Because that sometimes, I think oftentimes really creates the ability to be more soft and more feminine than the world is asking us to be.
I like that. Tommy asked, what does it take to build these principles and measures that help guide and grow? He also wrote red light therapy, and that was a question mark. I don't know if he was asking if that was a thing or what's your thoughts on it. I'm not really sure there. Okay. But yeah.
So red light therapy is often used regarding like mood. Often it's used, it's called like light therapy. So you got red light therapy and then you have other therapy. It's just called light therapy. And it's typically for like, the acronym is SAD. It's seasonal affective depression.
Yeah, I heard of that
disorder.
Before.
And it's like the months, the winter kind of months, dark months.
Holidays,
but it's like when we have less sun. So like it's a real thing. So light therapy, where we get more light,
sunlight,
right? Because the season, we're trying to give ourselves artificial light because the season isn't providing it. And so I have read, I have not utilized it, but I have also recommended it to clients, and they do find benefits to red light therapy and light therapy in general regarding depression. So I think it can definitely be effective. Oftentimes we have to find what works for us. One thing that works for one person is extremely beneficial, may not necessarily be beneficial to another person. So you just have to find what works for you. And to address your other question, what does it take to, build these principles and measures that help guide and grow? I think it takes, to be quite honest with you, connecting with a person. I'm an advocate for therapy, so I'm going to say therapy. Connecting with a person that you are in alignment with, that helps you to build your toolbox, find what works for you. In building your toolbox, you're going to be able to lean more on principles that you feel like could be beneficial to your life. So I think connecting with a good therapist, for some, just to give you an example, some of my clients love like brain dump journaling. Some of my clients hate journaling, so we don't journal. I have to do what works for that particular client. We may do thought challenging. We may do acceptance therapy. It depends on what's needed for whatever that person is going through at that particular time. And we use what works and we throw away what doesn't. But I do more of a tailored approach. And I think connecting with your person that you believe in will help you find those principles, and you just build that toolbox and you take it with you.
Okay. And there's just one more comment. And she don't think she asked a question. Sheffy just said, color theory is definitely a thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. When you sent me over your bio, you said that you created Handsome and Healing because men need to be included in the conversation.
Sure.
When did you realize that men need to be brought into the conversation?
Men always need to be brought in the conversation. Like my dissertation focused on African American male college students utilizing therapy, and that a student stuck with me because, like I was sharing with you before we got on live, that man, my brain. I was sharing with you online about how I worked in higher education and how I loved the light, how I could see the light coming on with Black and brown, all students, honestly, but how I could see the light come on when I'm talking about psychology, when I'm talking about therapy. And I would have so many students, specifically males, and I'm thinking about one in particular that came to me after I went over psychological disorders. And he came to my office, he followed me to my office, and he said, "What's up? I got to talk to you." I said, "All right, what's up? Let's talk." And so he said, we were going over PTSD. I think I got that, but I thought it was always connected to like being in the military. And then he started going through telling me about like basically a war zone that he had grew up in. Like he grew up in Chicago, so many people died. I was like, well, you did go through war. And PTSD is not like the military doesn't have like the dibs on PTSD,
regular
like,
people.
It can be applied to everybody, right?
They ain't got dibs.
So it was like, okay, but we were having dialogue, and so we're talking about it, and I was like, man, and he's going through and he's telling me all these things, and I'm like, man, I want to connect you with like a really great therapist. And he was like, oh no, I'm good. And I was like, hold on, we just had dialogue about like, you got textbook psychological disorder, like you have PTSD. I can diagnose you all day long. Like what you're telling me and what you've experienced in the time frame, you have PTSD. You should go like talk to a therapist. I can connect you with somebody. And he's like, no, I'm good. Therapy ain't for me. And I was like, you literally sat in my office, you ate up my lunch break, and we had a therapy session. What's the difference? And he was like, I don't know. I don't know. What do people say? What will people think? And I was like, we got an issue here. We have an issue. You feel very comfortable doing the thing that you need so much, but yet you won't utilize it because of what you feel like perception of others will be. And so for me, since then, men have always needed to be in the conversation. And I think it's so important because I do have male clients, and I'm always so proud. I'm proud of all my clients, and I'm always so proud of my male clients because men carry so much that they don't talk about, and they carry so much that often they feel like has nowhere to land because there's often the perception that men need to have it together and be strong, and granting themselves the permission to have a place to say two things can be true at once. I can be strong, but I can also be vulnerable and say this was very difficult. Like that's what women gonna go to therapy, but I want more women to go to therapy. But like shouting from the mountaintops, like I definitely want men to navigate through just the complexities of their lives and just try therapy out because it can be life changing.
What emotional wounds do you feel like men carry silently?
Shame, guilt, insecurities. And I'm not saying that in a negative way regarding like men being insecure, because I know sometimes that word can have a negative connotation, but guilt, shame, insecurities, abandonment, rejection, and a lack of like the love, like physical touch and words of affirmation. They don't get that as many. Like they don't get that as like much as women do. And men really, really like that and need it. And it's helpful.
And being that you say that, how do you feel like unhealed masculinity impacts like relationships?
Insecurities. Through projection, like just being fair. Abandonment wounds, like you're a runner, you're a track star. So that's how abandonment a lot of times shows up in relationships. Fear of rejection and attachment wounds.
What surprised you once? How can I say it? What surprised you once men felt safe to speak to you? Like, what's something that surprised you once you got into a space and it was just like, oh, wow.
Their ability to be grateful, like have gratitude and release the shame. Like their ability to have gratitude in their vulnerability and release the shame. Because I'm like, I can't tell your business to nobody. So you good here. Like nobody will know that you're being vulnerable in this space. I'm going to help you because I want you to be vulnerable with people that are very special to your life. But like the weight that has, like I've seen like shoulders drop like in real time of just being vulnerable, saying something that they've like held on to for years, like since childhood. Like them releasing it has been like, wow.
Different viewpoint.
Very different viewpoint. Like, man, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy you gave that to yourself. Like, you've been carrying an elephant.
Been needing it.
Yeah.
Needing it. We got comments.
Yeah, definitely. Rochelle, she says, okay, one more. What's a pretty girl's heel problem you didn't realize men also have?
That's a good question.
Come
on,
Rochelle doing her thing, bro.
Come on.
Rochelle doing her thing.
Read that one again. That one was good. That was good.
A pretty girl's heel problem you didn't realize handsome men heel also have.
Two things can be true at once.
Abandonment. Abandonment.
Now, and just out of curiosity,
yep.
When you say abandonment and in relation to a question, as far as like realizing they both didn't have it, is this something you felt like maybe only women carry, and you found out like, oh, men carry it too, or was it just in your findings you felt like, okay, well, they both carry this equally or just as much?
I think they carry it equally. I think women are way more open and vulnerable to discuss it versus men admitting to like abandonment hurting too. For men, like I'm good, you know, like that's the ego talking. Like, but once we get through the ego talking, it's like that hurt when you did like, oh, okay, so rejection, that stung. I didn't like that. I remember when, like they'll go back into like childhood. And so like I remember when my mom, or I remember when my dad, or I remember, you know, and it's like, yeah, that hurts too. But the presentation of like, no, I'm good. You really are not good. And so, yeah, abandonment hits real loud for women just like it does for men.
So we talking about attachment and relationships. Why do you think people miss people who hurt them?
I think because the brain does this very interesting thing that it holds on to the good. So it likes to lock into the positive memories, and the brain will somehow like filter out like all the negative parts of like why that relationship may have ended. It likes to hyper focus on like the positive and what felt good. And the other part of it is that oftentimes we don't like change. So when there's a transition in any type of relationship, we got to go through anew. We got to grieve. We don't like grieving. That hurt. We don't like negative emotions. We would prefer the positive ones. And so if I'm missing that old thing, like I'm missing the normalcy, I'm missing the comfort, I'm missing the history, I don't want to do this new thing because I know this thing, even if this thing wasn't good for me. And so I think we miss comfort.
You said something earlier, I wanted to know what you think about this. This is me putting stuff together that you said though. But you were saying earlier, you asked like your clients, if it were up to you, and then she asked about like missing somebody that hurt you. But do you think it could be that thing as well? Like if it were up to me, we'll still be together, even though you hurt me. If it's up to me, that I would still miss you. If it was up to me, you wouldn't did what you did to me. So could that play a role in like, I guess the brain doing whatever you said the brain like to do?
Yeah, definitely. The part of like where awareness has to step in is like having enough insight saying like two things could be true. I can miss you and you not be good for me. Now, what am I going to do with that? Do I want to stay in this hurt place, or do I have enough awareness saying I got to grieve? I got to go through this process. I got to go through grieving and to ultimately get to acceptance. That's it. Yeah.
What do you think is the most common attachment wounds in adults?
Insecure attachment, where attachment was not formed properly. People don't realize like attachments are connected to like our development. So really it's in like how we were raised. And insecure attachment is a huge one because we'll sabotage without even trying to sabotage, but we're trying to sabotage thinking like we're protecting because what we're trying to avoid is hurt. So that's like one of the most common attachment styles that I see is insecure, and then like insecure avoidant. But all of it is like I'm trying to avoid being hurt. I want to love on you. I want to be connected to you, but I remember how that feels and that hurts so bad. Let me get out before you can do it to me.
When a lot of men say they want women to be their peace.
Sure.
Tell the difference between peace and numbness.
Peace and numbness. Ooh. Okay. Peace, we have like comfort. When I think about peace, that's a soft landing place for like men or women, but I know this is addressed or focused on men. Peace feels like a softness. It feels like grace. It feels light. Numbness feels like tolerating. And if you're numb, you definitely need to take inventory. Because what are you numbing yourself?
What does numbing look like in real time? If you had to give an example of a numbness versus something that's peace.
Coexisting. Like people being together, coexisting, like just for the sake of like history. Nobody comfort. Nobody is actually active or being truly intentional. If we're talking about like a relationship dynamic, we're operating more like roommates, or I hate to say cellmates, but sometimes that's how people. I do couples counseling too, so sometimes that's how people operate when there's no life in it, when there's no growth in it. To me, that feels like numbness. We're tolerating each other at this point. If you're tolerating somebody, you gotta take a look at that. It's like, what's happening? Why? How's it serving me? How's it serving them?
Sheffy says cellmates are legit.
I mean, the words I've heard.
She did have a question I meant to ask. It says, as a healing woman, in parentheses, because I don't think healing ever stops. How do you suggest navigating unhealed men?
Okay. I guess like how are we trying to navigate
are we trying to navigate them, or should you just remove yourself? If you know someone's unhealed and you know you're not skilled in that to coach or help, you see it crashing. You get like you recognize it, you see that it's crashing, because to say that you recognize that somebody's unhealed.
Sure.
You can't help that person if you don't have the tools to help them. So would you stay around somebody that's actually like unhealed? Like, how would you actually? I don't know. Like, it just,
I got you. No,
it don't seem like
I got you.
It would be feasible for you to stay around somebody when you actively see someone unhealed.
If we're talking about like trying to build a relationship, because I think of, I hear you all loud and clear, but I think of like, if we're talking about a friendship, okay, then like, we're just gonna have to like visit the access. Because like, is this a friendship I'm trying to maintain? Is this a friendship I need to withdraw from? Because like, this person is navigating something. Because I'm never from like the school of thought of like, hey, drop folks off, cut them off, go on about your business. Like, some relationships are very important to us. And it's important for that person to navigate like that healing process for themselves. You just need to be very conscious of like what relationship dynamic I'm trying to have with this person and what access is this person going to have to me. Because unhealed people will cut you up and bleed all over you with whatever is happening with them. That is very, very true. But what are you trying to obtain? If this is a romantic relationship, then my advice would be like, you got to give that person the opportunity to navigate through like what that needs to look like for them, because you shouldn't be playing dual roles in any relationships. Like, I don't want to be my husband's therapist. That's a person. You should have a therapist for that. I want to be your wife. Now, will I be your piece, and can we converse and navigate through some things together? For sure. But if I don't have the tools and the skills and the ability to be doing that, then I shouldn't even be attempting to do that. I can encourage you to seek that for yourself, but that person ultimately has to want that for themselves. You will never be able to convince someone to go through a healing process unless that's what they want to do and see themselves as unhealed. So if it's trying to bridge a relationship, you're asking a person to do something that they really don't have the capacity to do. Not from the lens where you're coming from. You all are going to see things very differently. Your perspective is going to be completely different. If they are operating and navigating through depression, they may have a pessimistic point of view where yours is optimistic. You're gonna be coming up against a lot often, and it's because of the space that they're navigating. So if it's like trying to build a romantic relationship, I wouldn't try to build that romantic relationship. But if it's a person that you truly value, it would just be like, hey, these are, maybe some therapists you need to consider, or some things like that. And sometimes people get offended by that. But you shouldn't be trying to navigate that yourself, because you shouldn't be a therapist to someone that is not your client. Like, I don't believe in dual roles, because you develop resentment. So now you calling me up to be your therapist, and I just want to be your woman. You might start feeling the way, I don't want to hear all your problems all the time. It always feels like something. And not that you're not wanting to be a good partner, but it's a duality in a relationship that it can develop resentment.
Is that when you're saying they need to create a boundary?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't want to be other people's therapist. Like, if I'm Jessica to you, I just want to be Jessica to you. I don't want to be a therapist. When I log on to my simple practice, like, I want to be a therapist to them. Mm-hmm. Right? There's not a duality in that relationship. I want to get to be whoever I am in your life and be that person. I don't want to build resentment from you. And resentment builds because we have a lack of boundaries. Mm-hmm. We've probably all experienced somebody calling us up that is like dumping, and they've been dumping for like a year. And we look at the phone and we don't want to pick up. Or we look at the phone, we'll pick up like, oh, Lord, what it is today. You're developing resentment because you just taking on a different role in that person's life versus like you wanting to pick up the phone because
you want to see them,
you want to talk,
you want to help them through it, or even so it's not. So you want to check in on them after they have the issue. Like, okay, I ain't heard from them in a while. Let me check on them. But it's right. When it's always something, it's like, yeah, it's draining. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. It's definitely exhausting. I do want to talk about something real quick. You can ask questions. Then
okay, it's a few of them as well. Okay. I'm gonna read. Well, I can read them all if you want to just go and we just go from there. I don't know, but I'll put them on the screen too. I'm gonna just go through a few of them so you can kind of read them and then go back to them. But when should men step further into help with diagnosing factors like ADHD, bipolar? That was a type of question from Tommy. This is just a comment right here. Rochelle said, definitely would love for her to do a breakout session with the girls at the alternative school. We have to get them while they're young. We have a lot of girls this semester.
Cool.
No, that would be dope though, because I did something there one time, and the girls definitely stood out to me at the alternative school.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure.
Mia says, how do you feel about women saying they're in the soft girl era? Should it really be an era? And should a man determine whether you are soft or not?
Okay.
Go back to that.
Hold on.
We talked about that.
We did. We talked about that. Okay, I'm going to answer the soft girl era, but I wanted to address the ADHD, bipolar. When
man Tommy.
Yeah, I don't want to ignore Tommy. So immediately, like when you feel like you are navigating through something that feels like very difficult, you feel like this could be symptoms of ADHD, bipolar, any type of psychological disorder, reach out. You can reach out to your primary care physician to even get the process started, especially with like ADHD and ADD, because you have to have like a series of assessments to be clinically diagnosed with ADHD. And it can cause all types of stress. And man, it has an umbrella of all kinds of things that it can create fatigue, overwhelm. It can cause depression because you don't know what you're navigating. And of course, bipolar too. So, even if it feels difficult to start with a therapist, even though I would advise you to, you can start with your primary care physician. If you got a good one, start with a good primary care physician that listens and is going to take you seriously about like going through the assessments for diagnosis, because it's definitely help for that. But when in doubt, a therapist is the way to go. Okay, now Mia. Okay, how do you feel about women saying they're in the soft girl era? I love it. It doesn't need to be an era. It could be a way of life. That is 100% up to you. Y'all heard me talk about like being a princess. That is
if you so choose to be
it. I don't think it should be an era. I think it should be a way of life. And should a man determine whether you are soft or not? No, you determine if you are soft or not. Nobody is in control of how we decide to show up. Any situation can cause us to show up, right? We can respond in any particular way we desire, but ultimately that's our choice. I think sometimes from the women that I have served feel like they sometimes can't show up in that space. And I think when they feel like they can't show up in that space, it's because safety and security has not been created with that particular person. So they don't feel like they have a soft place to land. Mm-hmm. And that's more of like, gotta do inventory, find out what's happening there. Because if I don't feel like I have a soft place to land, what I'm doing.
She had a comment on it, I guess, because when you start talking about it, she said a lot of women only really say they on their soft girl era because of a man. I would say that's kind of accurate. That's accurate.
I got you. Okay.
But I think that go back into what you said though, like having somewhere to land. I think sometimes the person you with, you feel like I can land on that guy. I feel like you feel like that, and then sometimes you feel like somebody you like, I bet not fall.
Okay. Well, I got it. I understand that perspective for sure. For me, I'm gonna create that for myself. I'm gonna create a soft landing space and place for myself. Like nobody can be responsible for like my joy, but me, because then that's conditional. Mm-hmm. And when we start putting conditions on like a person being like responsible for our joy or responsible for our softness, we got a problem. My softness is what I determine for my softness to look like. Me saying like I'm a princess is, yeah, my husband reinforces that, but like that's in what I create and how I navigate that. Like if that's me going and get massages or me putting boundaries of like, yeah, that feels overwhelming. I'm not doing that. Okay. I don't do laundry. Like what's popping is a beautiful thing. Utilize it if you had the ability, but like I'm sending that out. That's creating softness. For me, it's like, what are ways in your life that you feel like would create softness for yourself? Like that's, to me, that's more of the perspective of when I think about soft girl era, is that it's not conditional based on like another individual. It's like, how am I creating that softness for myself? And that's how I see it.
I ain't gonna lie. We need the soft girl era hats now, man. You put a whole new meaning to it. We need the soft girl era hats, man.
Look, with the pretty girl healing.
Yeah, we gotta do
Come
something.
on.
Yeah.
Come on. I love it. We got more?
Yeah, I just read the comment. Sheffy, she responded into what you were saying. She said, in dating, you don't know they are unhealed until they reveal themselves, and by then, you like they behind. I guess she didn't want to curse. All right. Shout out to Sheffy.
I got something to say to us saying that particular statement. That by the time you find out, once you find out though, like it's cool because you're learning the person. You're supposed to learn the person.
Sure.
And we try to stop right there and be like, okay, well, once we found out, it was hard to pull back. No, you're in the learning and growing and getting to know the person. So once you learn that that's not what you want to go for, then why is it? I'm not gonna say why is it so hard to, but that's your answer to whatever it is that you're experiencing with this person. Like, okay, I don't think I want to experience this with you. Take that back instead of just sitting in it. I think we try to change people to be something that they are not. Like they can show us who they are, and we see it, but we like, oh, well, all this other time felt good, but right here it doesn't, and it creates something totally different out you. And instead of you retracting and taking it back, like, you know what, I don't want to deal with it. You sit in there and say, okay, well, you fool me. No, you didn't fool me. You're showing up exactly who you are, and now it's time for you to make a decision. So.
I agree. I agree wholeheartly with what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying. I hope your name is Sheffy.
Sheffy.
Yeah,
okay, Sheffy. I'm pronouncing it correctly. And I understand what you're saying as well, Sheffy. But I will.
Oh,
go
she said.
back.
Oh, go ahead.
I already see it.
I will say, oftentimes that when people are in the dating phase, they tend to overlook things. And I always say, believe in consistency. Because I can't tell you how many times in a session where I'll say, well, how long is this a new behavior?
Like, no.
Well, no, because but you know, at first it was and I'm like, and how long did this go on? You know, I just was overlooking it because they had a lot going on. So you were more so focused on like what you wanted it to turn out to be. A lot of times it's like in what we envisioned, what we were hopeful for. Ain't nothing wrong with us being hopeful for, because oftentimes my clients tell me like, it's trash out here. Be glad. Like you've been together with your husband forever. They're like, it's garbage juice. And I'm like, I get it.
Listen.
But I'm like, a lot of times this is like stuff that was like, believe in consistency. Because oftentimes this is something that you've been seeing for a while, and you were hopeful and different people, and you were hopeful that there was going to be a shift and a change. And then when that didn't happen, it was like, it felt like all of a sudden, all of a sudden disappointment when you start diving into it. And it's like, this is something that this person showed me a long time ago, but I was trying to get him a chance.
Let Sheffy say it back.
Yeah.
Oh no, she just said I was asking more so how do we spot these fools early? I ain't trying to save nobody, but I did want to mention that earlier because especially you being a doctor, I do want you to talk about that. Like I think sometimes too, people try to diagnose other people who are in that profession. So I think even us talking about this healing unhealed, I don't want anybody to walk around just saying you're unhealed. That's kind of wild. You know, I don't want to just be putting that on somebody. You a doctor, so like you've done your due diligence to be able to say, look, you need some work. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
I don't like walk in the grocery store telling everybody they need help, or just because one day you didn't get your way, you need help. Like it's not always that way. So I did want you to speak on that a little bit.
About people trying to diagnose people?
Yeah, all of that. Just that. We'll just say that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, people always trying to diagnose.
They read a book for 5 pages, you know how that go. They got it down packed now. Page 5, they got it now.
Look, they got ChatGPT. The therapist.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus
Lord
Christ.
have mercy.
But this is what ChatGPT said.
Oh, the clients come to session telling me what ChatGPT said.
Ooh.
It's fine. It's always fine. People are going to do that. People are going to do that because, let's be honest, it's easier to assess somebody else than like yourself and your choices. So it's a real comfortable spot to assess others versus like internally, like why am I making some of the choices? Why are these type of people somehow like attracted to me? What is going on here? To answer your question, it's easier to look out versus inward. That's why people think they can assess everybody. And they got the buzzword, so everybody's a narcissist.
Oh, gee, please.
And everything is a projection.
I thought you buried that in 2019.
Everything is gaslighting.
Everything is gaslighting.
And a lot of times it's accountability, but we don't like it. So we frame it in a way that feels digestible for us.
I like that. No, I liked it. I wanted to ask that. I'll be trying to keep the flow going, but when y'all talked about it earlier, and when Chevy first asked that question, I thought about that. I said, you got to talk about people just diagnosing somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like people to be telling you stuff about yourself. Like, bro, you're not even a doctor. Chill out. Like, what's going on? Like, what you got going on?
I mean, you take it with a grain of salt. I mean, that's what you could do with that. You take it with a grain of salt, and hopefully you got a therapist. Like, let me process this with a therapist. I love that. I've had people show up to therapy and like, am I a narcissist? I'm like, well, tell me what's happening. And we navigate through that. But a lot of times it boils down to like accountability. We don't like it. We don't like for the mirror to be flipped on us
at all. So as y'all can see, I have on the Pretty Girls Heal hat. But something that I noticed inside the hat when I first got mine, when I ordered it, was inside of each hat, it's like a Bible verse in each one. So I think Maine took his off early. His has Matthew 156 and mine has Psalm 126, chapter 5 and 6. Why did you incorporate scripture in each hat? Because something is different in each hat.
Well, yeah, so for the women, their scripture is different. Well, let me say for Pretty Girls Heal, because a man can wear this hat too. Whoever wants to wear the hat can wear the hat. But in the Pretty Girls Heal hat, that scripture was focused on those that sow in tears shall reap in joy. Like that was the focus there. And it was because women, if we're being honest, tend to be more comfortable with the emotional expression of crying, of tears. Do we all cry? Yeah. With the men, it was more so focused on like the encouragement and feeling more like empowered, but understanding like that's healing connected to that as well. And I'll be honest, when I was initially like designing a hat, it kept coming up of like, but I want scripture. And then it was coming across my mind like, everybody ain't a Christian. So you may offend some people. And I was like, look, this, first of all, this ain't about, well, I was like, this wasn't even about me, the whole brand in the first place. I'm like, this was downloaded by God. So I was like, this ain't even about me in the first place. And what I'm here for is to promote this message, and you can like it or dislike the scripture, but what I will do is like, while I am delivering these messages, is like glorify God. And if you got a scripture and a prayer on the crown of your head, like you good. You shouldn't even be mad at that. But if you mad at it, cut it out. But like that was important to me. And I was like, I ain't wrestling with nobody because like I got judgment.
Just send it back. Right. Just
do whatever you need to do. But it's in there and it's covering you. And half the time people don't even know it's in there. But the feedback that I've received from those scriptures being in those hats have all been positive. Like, you don't even know how I needed that message from what I was going through.
It's a mystery.
This week.
It's a mystery. Once you open up the hat and you look at it, you look at the details, and you're like, okay, it has a different color. So it makes you want to see what it is. And then once you find out, you go on a journey.
It makes you go and look in the Bible.
I like this. I like this.
It's sneaky.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like sneaky way. I like go.
I like this. I like
go look it up.
I like everything about the packaging, the way it comes, that it was quickly shipped, like instantaneously, like next day. Pretty much like, but the packaging was good. The hat itself. Just the quality of the hat it was superb. I love it. I love every bit about it. But the special touch on the hats of the scripture it makes it worth the hat. Like it makes you want to wear the hat. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like absolutely. It's something, like you said, it's covering. So it's something you want to put on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I need this today. It don't got to match.
Right.
It don't got to match. It don't got like I need it. I need a date.
Yeah.
And you do get a lot of compliments when you wear it. You do. You get a lot of compliments when you wear it.
I appreciate
where the hat from. Like, so it's actually doing the job in which God intended it to be. So
I appreciate that.
I am extremely proud to wear your hat.
Thank you.
To speak to you today, because you were amazing guest. We got more comments or anything.
Yeah, the hat I like. I'm gonna say my piece. The hat is not flimsy. I love that a lot because a lot of people have a lot of flimsy hats.
I'm ready to use
the brim on the hat is amazing. That makes the hat, but the top part too, it being hard, it's not soft. My daughter sat in it, you can't really tell, so I like that. Once you sit on the hat, sometimes it's flimsy is over. So I do like that. I like the message, but I like that even like you said, looking inside of it, that's something we just looked at and seen that you had the scriptures in there. Rochelle did say in the comments, she said, I'm ready to use my Blue Cross Blue Shield for your services.
Thank you for your support, Rochelle. I appreciate that.
Look, you got a client already.
Thank you.
I don't know if you wanted to touch on it or not. Like, it's up to y'all, but
you said what?
I'm talking. She wouldn't touch on it or not. It's up to y'all. But real quick before I answer that question, Q, when you why'd you put the hat on your head just to tell us that the scripture was inside the hat?
First of all, at first my hair was sticking up in the
camera. To the microphone. You just talk to the microphone. Okay.
My hair was sticking up in the camera. So I was trying to lay it down, but then
I was just curious. I said, why she put it on? Just take it off. It didn't make sense.
It flowed. You messed it up. It flowed perfectly.
No, it did. But if I'm telling you, as a friend, that's me being your friend.
It flowed perfectly.
Hey, man.
You ain't even have to call it out. See, as a friend, friends do not. It's on live. We is in front of guests.
You need some healing. It's all good.
We in front of company. We in front of company. I just don't understand.
But you mentioned earlier, I guess being having some issue with the color pink earlier. Yeah. When you said at some point you were diagnosed with lupus, like what age was that for you?
40. Like Jesus. I was diagnosed with lupus in 2024. I started getting sick the end of 2023. And it started with like really bad pains like in my shin. And I was like, this is not normal. And I'm glad you brought this up. And I went to the doctor.
I try
so many times. And medical gaslighting is a real thing. And like, no, you're fine. I'm like, no, I'm not fine. And then I started to get like very, very ill to the point where like the top of the year of like 2024, I was in the ER like every 2 weeks. Fever 102, 103. They would try to fix whatever they thought, like, oh, well, this is this. And they would run the test, just kind of like the normal or standard, let me not say normal, the standard test that they run, everything came back fine. They did the scans, chest scans and x-ray, everything came back fine. But I am showing up every 2 weeks like clockwork, feet burning up. You can touch like the outside of my pants. And like one day my husband's getting me out of the bed and I'm like hot to like for him to touch, to get out of the bed, because I couldn't even move, like to get me out of the bed to go to the ER. It's like, you are burning up. And that was a really, really long journey. And the last time I went to the ER, one of the worst experiences I've ever had, before I was admitted into the hospital. The doctor literally came back to the bed and said, "We've done everything we can. You either have AIDS or cancer." And handed me my paperwork.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, that's what you surmised it to? Like, AIDS or cancer? And you said it just like so cavalier. And I was like, yeah, okay, let's go. We're done. I have neither. And Dr. Fanta, amazing representation, 1000% matters. She helped me navigate through that process. And I started just doing my own like research and was asking her questions of like, because as I'm looking up and doing my research, I'm like, I think I have lupus, like facial rashes and things like that. And I mean, all kinds of things that just were like 100% in alignment. Lymph nodes swollen, all kinds of things I'm going through. And so I'm like, I'm going back to the doctor. And I mean, when I'm telling you, I'm being like gaslit the entire time. Like, Darren is nice. He is very kind individual. He's like, I'm about to pull up on this doctor. Like he was like, no. We share the same doctor. So he's like, I'm pulling up. So when he's going to his own appointments, he's like, and why didn't you, like checking him? I'm like, appreciate it. I ain't getting us nowhere, but I appreciate that for sure. But Dr. Fanta was amazing. And I realized, and I communicate this to anyone that I meet that ask me any questions about it or could even possibly think that they have any illnesses. I didn't realize until I was navigating that process that you can go and get your own blood test. You can go get any blood test you want, as long as you're willing to pay for it.
Yep.
And it was like $200 a pop, and I was wearing the lab out of like paying for my own because he wasn't ordering these tests for me. I'm telling him I think I have lupus. He's telling me he doesn't think I have lupus. Okay, bet. Then I'm gonna find the test. So I'm ordering my own test. I'm going having them done, and I'm like, here are the results. And so I ended up having lupus, but I gave him the results of the test that
but I'm paying you.
And you didn't even think to yourself. So like it didn't get panned out until I went to the hospital one last time, and I went where Dr. Fanta was, and she got me admitted into the hospital in Thompson. I was brought back to Piedmont. I wasn't at Piedmont 2 hours before. Another doctor walked in. It's like, I think you got lupus. In the first 2 hours, another African-American doctor. Again, like in my case, and I have a wonderful rheumatologist. He's not African-American. He's wonderful. But I needed that representation at that time to advocate for me, like how I was advocating for myself. And I had like 4 different surgeries. They thought I had cancer because I had got scanned, had the PET scan, and I knew it wasn't good. And I know they're supposed to like not show kind of any emotional response, but I knew and said to Darren, like time we got in the car, I was like, it's not good. Because when the guy came back, he was like, try to have a good weekend. And I was like, okay, well, let's wrap this up. This doesn't look like it's gonna be good. And we cried. We cried in the car, and I was like, yeah, it's not gonna be good. And so when I saw my rheumatologist, he was like, yeah, your PET scan lit up like a Christmas tree. So we're sending you to oncology. Y'all sending me to oncology? So I was like, oh, okay, here we are. And so they thought I had lymphoma. And so I had to go through surgeries for that. And after the surgery and all of that, diagnosed with lupus. So yeah, that was hard because the fatigue is real. It was horrible, like the brain fog. Sometimes I would be in session and forgetting like what the client just said. And I'm like, I can't live like this can't be. This is like killing my life. The ability to do things that I used to be able to do and like care for a lot of the people that I was able to care for. Like that was grief because it was a loss of identity. I wasn't the same person, like what I was able to do before being diagnosed with lupus, please gone. Like I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm got this thing I'm executing, and my life completely changed. And again, I go back to just saying like I was a person that valued being needed, and I value being able to accomplish a lot and have a lot like on me, and that felt great to me. And so I used to often think of like, man, I would love to not like be needed as much. Even though I would say that, I would operate in a direct conflict, like contradiction of that.
Yeah.
And I was put in a position where like I had to need people, and that was different. That was very different. Like mentally navigating through like needing somebody to help me with everything in the beginning, like bathing, like I'm having to get a stool like you see for senior citizens in the shower because my legs will give out. Like it was hard, and I hated lupus. I hated lupus because what I felt like it took from me. And so we had a bad relationship. We had a bad relationship, but I had to go through like my grieving process with lupus, and we have a better relationship now because I've accepted lupus in my life. And so, in my initial post about Pretty Girls Heal, it's my acceptance of like using that for like purpose. But yeah, I was 40 when I was diagnosed with lupus, so that was life-changing for sure.
You talk about representation a lot in healthcare, and I hear that a lot often, being that I'm running for House District 130 seat. They talk about healthcare. They talk about access to healthcare. Do you feel like that's part of access to healthcare? Like a lot of people say, we don't have access, like this side of town or that particular side of town, the town that I'm particularly representing, or the sections of the city that I'm representing. They say, okay, well, we won't have much healthcare access. Being represented, like you're saying, people of color, like your doctors were people of color.
Yeah.
And it mattered because they heard you.
Sure.
Right. They seen you. How important do you think that is in our community, the city of Augusta? Just being that you did go to hospitals in Augusta and you experienced people in Augusta, how important is that to you?
That's extremely important. That was a difference maker, like in my life. I can't speak for anybody else's, but like for my life, that was a difference maker because I was dismissed by several doctors that did not look like me and did not go the extra mile to even try to say, what are you experiencing? You've been in your body the longest. Like, your body better than anybody. So what is going on? Like, let's go through this. Okay, give me the simple. Nobody ever did that. Like, no one. That until I got to doctors of like color, and that's my truth. Now, am I saying that that's across the board? No, I have an amazing rheumatologist that's a white guy, but he's amazing. I'm hitting him up on the email like, this is what's happening. He is emailing me within a few hours. But it is important to our community because it goes back so much further than I think people even realize about the medical mistrust in the African American community, and why you may have 100 urgent cares and prompt cares. You might have that, but the trust that you are going to advocate for my care, you're going to hear me, you're not going to dismiss me, you're not going to judge me thinking I'm here looking for medication, looking for drugs. That's why a lot of times there's the experience of gap. And there's a big history to it that goes back to, like, I won't go all the way there today, but that goes back to slavery with like medical mistrust. I mean, we got it as current as the 60s, you know, where you got the what is it, Tuskegee experiment.
Mm-hmm.
This was in the 60s. Like, yeah, that's why do you think people like of color want to connect with people of color? Because it's a trust there versus like we have experienced medical mistrust, so we won't exercise those options. We'll try to help ourselves at home, or we won't go.
We won't go part. That's real in our community. Very real. I appreciate you answering the question. We got comments.
No, I think people doing like I'm doing. They just like the voice, you know.
Okay.
I always say anybody that's like in kind of like any kind of counseling, therapeutic kind of thing, they got this voice, and then you know the lights is dim, it's quiet, you know, it just feels like something you just want to listen. You know?
Okay,
that's good. That's good, and she's in her calling.
That's right. There we go.
You should try to read books. I think I would listen to a book from her. Just I like to be read to me, but you should try to read books. Yeah,
listen, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Oh, pretty girls read books. I like that. Get that hat. For real.
Okay, come on brand.
Handsome and reading. Like I like these things, you know.
Okay, yes, I got you.
For sure.
It's a lot.
So plug yourself in. Tell people where they can find you, your social media, your business. I put the link of your website in the comment.
Thank you.
Tell people, I guess, how much they are too.
Okay.
How much they are. And anything else that you want to tell the
people? Real quick, I want to read this one comment. It just popped up. It says, shout out to Anaya Andrews. It says, Nia Andrews. It says, it matters 100% in school. You see disease processes on white bodies, and they don't always show up the same on black bodies. When you see someone that looks like you, it looks like looking in a mirror. That can be your mom, sister, dad, brother, etc. You have socioeconomic things you can relate to. So I thought that was cool and just expounding on what you were just saying. So,
absolutely.
We appreciate you, Naya. Appreciate your comment.
Naya.
Make sure you share it live. Share it live.
Look, your people tuned in.
Yeah, I love it.
But yeah, definitely plug yourself in, and we're gonna wrap it up for the night.
Well, thank you all. I appreciate you all for having me.
Appreciate you.
You can find me on Pretty Girls Heal Co. That's on Instagram. That's on my threads. And what else is it on? And then prettygirlsheal.co is the website. Thank you for plugging that in. I also have my private practice is called Healing and Healthy counseling.com. And you can find me there if you're looking for therapeutic services. I have a lot of people. You can find me as Jessica Shine on Facebook. I'm always answering questions. People message me. Always feel free to message me if you're looking for therapy, even if it's not with me. If I can connect you with someone or advise you on who I think you could be connected with or what would be beneficial for you, I definitely don't mind helping people. People do that anyway. So always feel free. I think it's always good to have a good point of reference, someone you feel comfortable with asking questions, and I don't mind answering them. So that's how you can find me. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
Thank you for modeling, sir.
You know, I try. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it, and thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Y'all for tuning in
to Augusta News Network AUG Explains live podcast tonight with Maine and Q.
Yeah,
this is good material. I love this. Is good material right here.
It's good material.
Hey, go in your closet, knock on your hats right here. If it don't do this,
it's trash.
I'm telling you right now, throw in the trash. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Y'all throw y'all hats away. Oh, you did say the price. I got the beanies now, so they are
show the beanies.
Live
come on,
and in full effect. They are in black, and you also have pink. They are $29.99. The Pretty Girls Heels hats are $40, and the Handsome and Healing hats are $45. They do have a different bib. So that's why they're a little bit more expensive for the men. I promise you, men, I wasn't picking on you, but you all have a different bib than the Pretty Girls Heels hats have. If you are a new customer, you get 10% off. So you'll automatically get that. And if you are a returning customer, then you get a thank you little note inside that gives you a discount code for 10% off as well. So y'all shop with me.
Yeah, man.
We appreciate you.
And
guys.
definitely want to say she did bring gifts. So anybody that's looking to come up here, if you got something you do sell,
okay.
it would be dope to bring the gift. Yeah, you set the bar
started.
super high.
Yeah. Rochelle started.
No, shout out to Rochelle.
Rochelle started.
Okay.
She got
it's just
gift card.
You're the first for 2026. So let's see if we can keep this rolling.
We gotta keep it going.
If you don't sell anything, still bring us gifts. We will still sell.
Yes. And you got to do a more than a master's interview.
Sure.
We gotta dig deep. I need to know what high school you went to, what middle school you went to.
We need that.
Well, she was there. She was there when I did Shine, so she knows.
Yeah, we need that interview. We need that in the archive for sure.
Of course.
But I appreciate you.
You went to Richmond?
I did.
Oh.
Look at him. Did you press your sound?
No, I ain't gonna press the sound this time. Well, you know what? No.
Don't do that. Try to do that.
Yeah, Q, go ahead, wrap this up, man. We did. This was good. Nah.
Well, we appreciate you guys for tuning in our live tonight. We appreciate you for stopping by,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Shine.
I appreciate it.
And thank you so much, man. We can end the live.
Y'all.
All right, hold on.
Bye, everyone. See you guys next Tuesday.